In order to astral project, you must trick your body into sleeping while keeping the mind aware and in a state of wakefulness. This is easier said than done in most cases. This is basically the best way I can describe the overall feeling of being ready to astral project. Basically, all of the things you heard in previously watched videos can help you, but the feeling is something you have to allow yourself to experience. It will sometimes feel different than what you've heard it should feel like. That's because it's a personal experience. Overall, the sleep paralysis and the vibrational stage seems to be the most confusing part of the process for most people. The sleep paralysis sometimes happens and isn't even noticed. Sometimes it's more of a feeling of sinking or floating, or maybe a feeling of being a little displaced a little to one side of the bed. Many different sensations can occur, and many that you've heard won't. Well, at least not in the way you thought they would. If you're focused on relaxing the body, often these physical sensations are accompanied by mental stimulation. It is your job to calm the mind. This is important because if you're experiencing many different anxieties and excitement from the physical sensations, you will not be able to leave your body easily. It will be a struggle because your consciousness is thinking of sensations rooted to your body. The vibrational state for me personally is a feeling of waves of relaxation at first. Sometimes I feel like I'm starting to shake, even feel like the bed is shaking sometimes. Then I start to feel like I'm sliding slightly to one side of where I should be laying. Sometimes it gives me a feeling of being very small in comparison to something very large or vice versa. Don't really know how to explain that one. At a certain level of relaxation, it's possible to hallucinate. See visions behind your closed eyes like intense daydreams. I've heard a woman's laughter or something like that on a couple of occasions. Kind of freaked me out for a second. This is why the mental part of the game is so important. Sometimes it's hard to embrace all of these new sensations from a place of calm. I have to remind myself the whole time that I'm trying to relax and sink into the bed, that everything's okay and there's nothing to fear in attempting to astral project. At some point, little flashes of light start to appear behind my eyelids, and those give me something to focus on and take my mind off of relaxing itself in my body. I believe that by concentrating on the little light patterns behind my eyelids, it gives my subconscious mind time to kick in and deepen the physical relaxation without me having to actually try. The feeling that we're looking for is very similar to the state of mind you are in when someone comes in and disturbs you right before you are about to actually fall asleep, right on the edge of sleep, the cusp of the mind actually shutting down for sleep. Very hard to remain aware of anything when we get this relaxed. This is why it's so hard sometimes. We don't really think of anything besides going to sleep when we go to bed our whole lives. So remember to be patient with yourself so you can let your mind relearn the sleep process. Try to observe the process of yourself falling to sleep and notice the differences if there is any. Like, do you start off thinking with words and sentences and then start to form images and daydreams as the process goes along, or vice versa? These are things to pay attention to that will give you vital clues on your own personal process for astral projection. This process I'm describing is very similar to the wild, lucid dreaming techniques that I've come across. I found out that by working with those little light flashes behind my eyelids long enough, they start to form images, and eventually a scene that I can walk into and it becomes a dream. Sometimes a lucid dream and other times just a dream and I fall asleep and don't remember. Every time is different than the last. The difficult part is being able to manipulate those light flashes to create the image you want to create. But if you can start to do this, then you can start to recreate your current physical surroundings with your mind using the flashes of light. Let me explain something about your awareness or your subconsciousness and your consciousness. You know that feeling that you get sometimes that someone is watching you and you turn around and sure enough someone's looking right at you? Or maybe they aren't. Either way. Or when you're driving and paranoid because you watch too many scary movies and now you feel like someone is hiding in your back seat, but no one's there. That feeling is a part of your awareness, leaving you and exploring your surroundings. You think someone is hiding back there. You feel the presence and it's something outside of you, but what it really is a small part of your awareness in the back seat checking it out for you, and you feel it in a strange way. So, back to the point. Those images that you start to see with the flashes of light are that part of your awareness, but now you actually know what it is. So the next time you're starting to feel paranoid when trying to astral project, like that feeling something is standing in your room or something, you just know your awareness is attempting to leave your body and explore. It's natural. Your mind does it as a last safety precaution to check your surroundings before sleep. Just relax and use that imaging software in your brain to see your room, see your bed, and see yourself laying on the bed. in as much detail as feels right to you. Don't stress it if you can't recreate every detail of your posters or whatever. We aren't here to look at that. After you do all that, go through your door and just keep creating your house. You don't have to roll out of your body or float out or climb out or whatever they told you. You can simply place your awareness outside of yourself. You do it all the time and don't notice. The noticing part is the hardest. Most people say this is the hardest technique. For me, it's the only technique. Even if I don't astral project, I have a very nice dream. All other things people said to do just cause me confusion, like, how do I sit up out of my body without trying to move my body? It seemed kind of counterproductive to me. With the right focus on the mind and what's happening there is enough to bring you out. Try to get to that daydream feeling, but then control it and create your room, bed, and body in the house, and then you're out and free to ask for guidance or else wander around and look at all the cool stuff that starts to form. The thing that we have to realize is that astral projection is not physical, so it doesn't require very strict physical rules. The opposite. Let the physical go and see what happens elsewhere. Your mind isn't physical, so don't think physical. Manipulate your mind and you will discover amazing insight into your personal life. Astral projection is tapping into the essence of creation. Have fun.